the first responders, often police, we reported a rising number of cops being diagnosed with PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. What's the latest on that? Because that is pretty concerning.
Yeah, we've highlighted again that, you know, the Police Federation, who are the representative body for rank and file police officers, have spoken quite a lot in the past about the growing numbers of police officers off work with mental health problems. The role of the police officers changed in recent years from the kind of stereotype of Dick Dixon of Dock Green, you know, the constable plodding the beat and you know, being a kind of local community cop. There's so much asked of the police now. There's so many different things demanded of them that, you know, the pressure's increasing all the time. And what we highlighted was some new figures that show that the number of working days lost to post-traumatic stress disorder, that's police officers gone off with PTSD as a diagnosis, doubled from 3,313 days lost in 2023 to 6,863 in 2025. And the number of police officers who were absent from work with PTSD rose, almost doubled from 36 to 60. So that's quite a lot, 60 cops off last year with PTSD. The PTSD can be triggered by experience or witnessing a terrifying, life-threatening or traumatic event. The police officers are really witnessing this every day. And we spoke to a former police inspector, Ryan MacDonald, who's based up in Tayside, and he took early retirement last year with PTSD. And he made quite a good comment. He says, during my career in policing, I attended countless traumatic incidents, including murders, fatal fires, sudden deaths, and incidents involving children. And we tend to accept that as part of the police officer's job. He says officers see between 300 and 400 traumatic incidents in their career, where members of the public maybe only see 2 or 3. And I think we don't always remember the kind of day-to-day trauma that police officers may face, a death of a child or some horrific road accident. And what we're asking, I think the message is what we're asking of the police officers is we're asking more and more every year as the job gets more complex. And I think the message is, several for people like Ryan MacDonald, is Police Scotland, not just Police Scotland, but, you know, as a society, we need to do more to help these officers.
Yeah, and we see that combined with the amount of overtime that we're seeing with police officers. They're really getting stretched.
Yeah, we're seeing that all the time, you know, the growing levels of public disorder, street demonstrations, you know, crime is up. You know, we even talk about things like Operation Portalage. That's taken away a lot of resources. A lot of work will have gone into that, you know, a lot of overtime. A lot of officers are quite offset. Overtime was a thing that they look forward to, making a bit extra money. Nowadays, it's more or less compulsory now to have to do overtime. And we've spoken to a lot of officers who of all ranks who accumulate quite a lot of days off. They're being called in other days off for all sorts of manner of things. I say we're seeing all these kind of street protests and demonstrations on various issues, child safety issues, and demonstrations outside migrant hotels. So that's all adding to the kind of workload of police officers. And we've spoken quite often to David Kennedy, who's General Secretary of the Scottish Police Federation. The term that he often uses to describe police officers as being burst. You know, that they're asked to do so much, so they're almost kind of, it's too much, you know, for officers, and they're not getting that time to reset, take days off before they go back to work.